Chairman, I claim the time for our side, and I want to, at this point, yield 5 minutes to the very distinguished ranking member of the Subcommittee on Energy, gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Reich.
Gentleman from Illinois is recognized for 5 minutes.
I want to see ranking member of the full committee, and I want to commend him on his outstanding work, not only on this particular matter, but in most of the issues that come before this Congress as it relates to not only the purpose of us, but the prosperity of the American people. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong opposition to this bill, H.R. 2681. I call it the dirty cement pollution bill. And let's be perfectly clear, Mr. Speaker, this bill and this measure is not about jobs. For the chairman of the subcommittee and my friend just to try to persuade members of this body that this is about jobs, I think that it's the worst kind of politics. It's, jobs now is a useful canard, but this is not about jobs. This is about an industry that is singular in its being eliminated or being not under the auspices of the Clean Air Act, and about an industry that is unique because it doesn't have to adhere to any of the provisions of the Clean Air Act. And it's about time that this industry be included with other industries in this nation to come under the auspices and the jurisdiction and the standards of the Clean Air Act. Cement kilns emit nearly 8 tons of mercury each year, making them the nation's second largest mercury-emitting source. Before the EPA issued its 2010 air toxics, these emissions remain essentially unrestrained due to the lack of control for cement kilns regulating the release of mercury into the atmosphere. H.R. 2681 will roll back existing Clean Air Act standards by revoking 3 Clean Air Act rules regarding the only national limits on emissions of air toxins such as mercury from cement kilns. This dirty cement pollution bill will also require EPA to propose and finalize weaker replacement rules that will allow for more pollution than the law currently permits. This bill is intended to significantly change how EPA sets the standards when issuing the alternative rules. H.R. 2681 would indefinitely delay the reductions of air toxics and other hazardous pollutants by prohibiting EPA from finalizing replacement rules prior to March 2013 if this bill were to be enacted at the end of this year. Also, this bill does not include any statutory deadline for when polluters must reduce emissions, leaving the process ambiguous and open-ended. At the very least, this dirty cement pollution bill would postpone emission reductions from cement kilns until at least 2018, a 4 1/2 delay. In fact, the health safeguards from these standards are long overdue. EPA just finalized standards for cement plants in September of last year, making them 13 years overdue under the Clean Air Act amendments of 1990. 13 years overdue already. They're overdue 13 years. The science tells us that these dirty air toxins can cause a variety of serious health effects, including cancer and respiratory and neurological impairments, as well as reproductive problems. In particular, mercury exposure can cause great harm to pregnant women, unborn babies, and young children by developing
Gentleman, additional 1 minute.
Gentleman's recognized for an additional 1 minute.
by damaging the developing nervous system, which affects children's ability to learn and to think. Additionally, mercury emissions can also damage the environment by polluting our nation's lakes and streams and the seafood which we eat. In fact, EPA estimates that H.R. 2681 will allow for thousands of additional premature deaths and premature heart attacks, as well as tens of thousands of additional asthma attacks that could have been avoided. Mr. Speaker, the public health benefits from the reduction of air toxic emissions from cement kilns have already been delayed. Now is the time. The radical Republican majority cannot keep making excuses and exceptions for the largest industrial emitters of mercury in the U.S., cement plants and industrial boilers, while over 100 other industries have already controlled their toxic pollution. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.